myself, which is a little bit concerning on camera, but whatever. Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Last week I did a last minute poll because I accidentally deleted one of my videos, and I asked you guys if you wanted an inaudible whispers video or like a spicy like book what I've been reading lately video, and a lot of people, the inaudible whispers video won, but I did see some comments that said that they really wanted to see what I've been reading, so I was like, okay, I'll do that next week, because honestly you guys, the role plays have been kicking my derriere. Okay, I film 3 videos a week, and they're all usually role plays, and role plays are, for me at least, a lot of work, because I usually have like pretty intricate like background stories and like all that stuff, so they kind of stress me out just a little bit, okay, and I kind of have been going through it lately, so I was like, this week I'm gonna remove one role play just this week. The other videos for the rest of the week will be role plays, but today's video is going to be a what I've been reading lately. If you want to read these books, this is some inspiration for you. If you've been looking for inspiration to read, I've been like really into reading lately. I'm on my like 13th book of the year, which I'm so proud of myself for that, but they're all, the ones that I have here, there's like 4 books, they're all spicy book recommendations. I'm in the spicy era, okay? I need the spice. I need all the spice, actually. I want to feel like I'm gonna get in trouble if someone catches me reading it. Like, that's what I want to feel like. Like, that's what I want to be blushing, okay? I want to be blushing. They're all romantic fantasies as well, the ones that I chose are romantic fantasies. They're just a couple of books that I've been enjoying, and they might not be like the most well-written books ever, but they're ones that I think are worth a read, that I think you should read. Actually, before I get into ones that I like, let me get into the one book this year that I actually did not like at all, and I feel like this might offend some people because I think this book has like a 50-50 split. Like, people either love this book or they hate this book. I hated this book, and that is The Cruel Prince. I actually hated this book so much that I returned it, and I never return books. Like, I just keep them. I returned it. I returned this book. That's how badly I did not like this book. I don't even have the book with me anymore. I returned it, so I'm gonna add a picture here. You guys, I did not like this book. I hate to like be that person. I did not like this book. I did not like it was such a slow book. Like, I felt like it was so slow. Like, I kept telling myself when I was reading it, I was like, okay, just give it a chance. Like, it just started. It's gonna get good. Just be patient. Like, sometimes the books take a while to get good. So I was like, just be patient, especially when you have romantic fantasies. There's like world building involved, especially in the first book, so you have to like wait for it to get really good. So I was like, just let them get through the storyline, like the world building and all of that stuff. The book is gonna get good. You guys, next thing I know, I'm on chapter like 20, and the book hasn't gotten good. Mind you, The Cruel Prince, there's only like 29 chapters of that book. I was almost done, and I couldn't tell you what was gonna happen because I didn't know. Like, it's enemies to lovers. It's like a romance. It's like a side plot of the book. Like, it's more of like a political book with like romance as a side plot, enemies to lovers. But I feel like nothing happened in the book, and it probably got better as the series went on, but I did not finish it. Like, I finished that book and then I didn't read the other ones because I was like, girl, this is so boring. I'm sorry if you love this book. It wasn't for me. Like, I just felt like nothing happened, and I read it and I felt like it had the potential to be good, and it just never got good, and then I was just over it. Like, the only interesting part of the book was like the last 3 chapters, and by then I'm like, girl, I'm so checked out of this book. I don't even want to know what's gonna happen anymore. Sorry if you love this book. It wasn't for me. I just had to mention that because I did read that recently, but I did not like it. So let's get into the ones that I actually did like. I brought the mic up, but starting off with Agatar. These are not going to be like super like, oh, I've never heard of that before. You've probably heard of all of these, but I'm just helping you. I'm just helping push you along, okay? Agatar, Agatar, Agatar. A quartz of thorns and roses by Sarah J. Maas, I believe. This book was okay at first. Like, at first I was like, oh, I'm into it. Like, the plot, I'm into the plot, but like, it wasn't super good. And then the second half, I was like, okay, wait. I don't know where to look. It's basically about, I'll read the back to you. When 19-year-old huntress Farah kills a wolf in the woods, terrifying creature arrives to demand retribution. Dragged to a treacherous magical land she knows about only from legends, Farah discovers that her captor is not truly a beast, but one of the lethal immortal fairies who once ruled her world. At least, he's not a beast all the time. As she adapts to her new home, her feelings for the fairy, Tamlin, transforms from icy hostility into a fiery passion that burns through every lie she's been told about the beautiful, dangerous world of the Fae. But something is not right in the fairylands. An ancient, wicked shadow is growing, and Farah must find a way to stop it or doom Tamlin and his world forever. It's kind of giving, reading that kind of is giving Beauty and the Beast, no. So like I said, it's basically about this girl named Farah, and she's like a mortal, or she's human, and she goes into the woods and kills this wolf, and the wolf that she killed was actually a fairy. So like this king, we'll just call him like a king fairy, like he's like one of the like big fairies. He comes and he takes her because he's like, you owe me, like you just killed my guy, like you owe me, you're in trouble. So he kidnaps her and takes her to the fairy world, because there's like a wall separating the fairy world and like the mortal lands or whatever. So he takes her to the fairy world, and they like maybe fall in love, maybe not, you know, I don't know, I don't want to spoil anything, but it's this book specifically. I recommend reading this book so you can get to the next books, because this one wasn't like the best one in the series, but the next ones, yeah, I really like this book because it was another one of the like female leads that are like really strong. Like I like to read books about like strong female leads that like get really powerful and like kick some butt. Like if you like to read books about a female lead that's like the literal like badass of the book, this is one of those. I believe there's like 5 or 4 books now. I've read the first 3. I don't think I'm gonna read the next couple of ones because I don't like one of her sisters. If you read the book, then you know which sister I'm talking about. I don't like her, so I don't want to read the other ones. But these are really good. I was really into it. If you're like new to like, if you're new to like romantic fantasies, I think the Agatar books are like a good starter. At least for me, it wasn't too hard to like follow along with the plot or anything like that, so I enjoyed it. Let's move on. Fourth Wing, yeah. If anyone's read Iron Flame, I'm literally thinking about my house, my chair, my woman. If you know, you know. Fourth Wing. This one, I made a short about it when I bought this book. It was really hyped up on like Book Talk. Most of these books I found on Book Talk, really hyped up on Book Talk. Everybody loved. Everybody kept recommending this book, and I was like, I don't know, like, and then I watched a podcast on it from Stephanie Sue. She does like, I think it's like baking were 6 chapters, and I was into it, so I went and bought the book. This book is so good. This book is literally so good. I love it. I think this is my favorite book that I've read this year, which I don't know what that says about me, but this book is so good. It's so good. It's literally about, should I read this to you? I'll read it. Okay, I'll read some of the little thing. 20-year-old Violet Sorrengail was supposed to enter the scribe quadrant, living a quiet life among books and history. Now, the commanding general, also known as her toughest talon's mother, has ordered Violet to join the hundreds of candidates striving to become the elite of Navarre dragon riders. But when you're smaller than everyone else and your body is brittle, death is only a heartbeat away, because dragons don't bond fragile humans, they incinerate them. With fewer dragons willing to bond than cadets, most would kill Violet to better their own chances of success. The rest would kill her just for being her mother's daughter. Like Jaden, the most powerful and ruthless wing leader in the Riders Quadrant. There's more to that, but I'm gonna stop there. So as you heard, it's basically about a girl named Violet who like trained her whole life to be a scribe, which is basically like, they're like the people that like keep history, and they are like book smart, basically. And now her mother is like, absolutely not, you're not being a scribe, you need to get your ass out there and get on a dragon. And she's like, Mom, I can't get on the dragon, like I'm brittle, like I'm a break, like I'm a die. And she's like, I don't care, get on the dragon. So it's like a magic school, it's like a school for this, and she has to join the portion of the school that teaches you how to ride dragons. But it's like a deadly thing, like people die during this, like that's the point. They want the people that are weak to die and only the strong ones to be left. But those people have trained their entire lives to be strong, and she hasn't. She's trained her entire life to be a librarian, basically. But like her mother is like this huge general, and her sister was a writer, and her brother was a writer. So she's like, her mom is like, you have to be a writer too, like you have to go and get your ass on a dragon. I don't care if you die or not, get on a dragon. Also, everybody hates her because of who her mother is. Like her mother is like this huge like name, and everybody's like, I want to kill her, because if I kill her, that's gonna give me some like street cred, basically. So in the college, everybody wants to kill her, including this Jaden Ryerson. But also, she could die anyway, just from like the challenges, and there's like duels and fighting and all this other stuff. So it's like a little bit of like animosity. Like she's like looking over her shoulder the entire book. It's really good. It's enemies to lovers, a strong female lead. Like she's tough, even though she like doesn't really know how to fight that good. She's tough. Like I said, enemies to lovers. It's spicy. There's a little bit of betrayal in there. It's a good book. It's a good book. Like I said, this was my favorite read of the entire year. This, and then the book that follows it, which is called Iron Flame. Iron Flame gets a bit more spicier. Like this, the spice is towards the end of the book. Iron Flame, the spice, honestly, the spice is like the middle of the book towards the end of the book for Iron Flame. But they're both really good. Highly recommend. If you heard anything bad about this book, they lied to you. I'm telling you to read it. I'm begging you, okay? There's 2 books in this series. It's not finished. I believe there's supposed to be 5. So it is like just the beginning. And there's supposed to be, I believe there's supposed to be 5, I think. Yeah, there's supposed to be 5. So, but yeah, the next one comes out of January 2025. So So there's that. And it's From Blood and Ash. Ignore the Target sticker, but it's From Blood and Ash. This is like an old, I think this is an old cover. I think they have better covers now. I'll put a picture. This is the better cover. This is the only one they had at Target though. But like I said, this one was a book that I was reading it and I was like, okay, this is super inner monologue-y. Like, there was no dialect at the first half of the book. Like, none. Like, barely any conversational dialect. Like, all of everything was like an internal monologue of just going on and on and on and on and on. And I'm like, this is so boring. Like, I can't stand this. And then it got to the second half. Yeah. Okay, yeah. Okay, yeah. Let's read the back. So it says, a maiden chosen from birth to usher in a new era. Poppy's life has never been her own. The life of the maiden is solitary, never to be touched, never to be looked upon, never to be spoken to, never to experience pleasure. Waiting for the day of her ascension, she would rather be with the guards fighting back the evil that took her family than preparing to be found worthy by the gods. But the choice has never been hers. A duty. The entire kingdom's future rests on Poppy's shoulders, something she's not even quite sure she wants for herself. Because a maiden has a heart and a soul and longing, and when Hawk, a golden-eyed guard, honor-bound to ensure her ascension, enters her life, destiny and duty become tangled with desire and need. He incites her anger, makes her question everything she believes in, and tempts her with the forbidden. There's more to that, but basically it's about this girl. I feel like I have to explain everything to you because sometimes these be doing too much. It's basically about this girl who in the kingdom, she's called a maiden, and she's basically like a nun is what it basically is. Like, she has to be veiled, like nobody can see her face. She has to be pure. She can't like read anything that's like not like about history. Like, she can't do anything, literally nothing, if you know what I mean. And that's her life. Like, she just has to prepare to like ascend, they call it, and that's it. Like, she can't do anything for herself, and she's like heavily guarded. And in the end, this guy named Hawk, who ends up being her guard, comes along, and they're like attracted to one another. And I'm trying not to spoil anything. They're attracted to one another, and she's like, literally, she's forbidden from like reading certain books, like going to certain places, she can only wear white, she can only be veiled. So you can imagine that she's not allowed to like kiss anyone or do things with anyone. But there's temptation there, is all I'm gonna say. So there's also, it's a vampire / werewolf book series, and there's enemies to lovers, or like, it's like friends to lovers to enemies to lovers. There's betrayal. I love a good betrayal. I don't know if that makes me toxic or not. I love a good betrayal. Okay, I don't care. I will die on that hill. Betray me, please. Only in the book, not in real life. But this book was not the greatest at first, but now I'm on book 3 and I'm really into it. If you keep reading, there might be like a throuple situation, like a threesome sort of thing. I feel like I'm spoiling things. All I'm saying is, it's Twilight, but then make it like forbidden, more forbidden than it already is, and then make it like king and queen, like add like a king and queen. You know what I'm saying? I don't know, I feel like this book on Book Talk gets bashed on a lot. Like, a lot of people don't like it, and I'm not like, I don't have like the best taste ever, but like, I enjoy it. Like, is it the best read ever? No. Is it really enjoyable and like spicy and like she's like a badass, like she's a badass female lead, and he's hot, and there's vampires and werewolves. Like, I'm simple, I'm into it. I kind of recommend it. I hate that I recommend it because I didn't like the book at first, but I recommend it. Read it. Okay, read it. Okay, I think this is gonna be the last one, and this one is called The Serpent. The Serpent. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. The Serpent and the Wings of Night. This is another one. I get majority of my book recommendations from Book Talk, and this is another one that went popular on Book Talk. Like, I've seen people recommending this a lot for people that wanted to read like a spicy, like a romantic fantasy that had spice in it. This is not super spicy, not at all actually, but there is spice in it, mainly towards the end, and it's romantasy basically. And so I picked it up and I actually really enjoyed it. Like, the first couple of pages and I was already into it. Like, a lot of the other ones take some time. This one I was actually really into it. It's about vampires. I love a good vampire book. I read the back for you. So it says, the adopted human daughter of the night-born vampire king, Aurea, carved her place in a world designed to kill her. Her only chance to become something more than prey is entering the Kichari, girl, I don't know, a legendary tournament held by the goddess of death herself. I'm actually gonna stop there, I think, but I'll tell you what it's about. It's basically about this human girl who gets adopted by this vampire king. Like, he finds her and adopts her, but she's a human and she lives in like this world, like surrounded by vampires, and she's like strong, like she's a badass, but you know, at the end of the day she's still human, and she's like, I don't want to be like prey, like I want to be strong. So she enters into this tournament, and in the end of the tournament you get a wish and you get to like get anything you want basically from a goddess. And so she has to enter the tournament so that way she can win the tournament. And it's basically like, a lot of people say it's like vampire Hunger Games, because that's literally what it is. Like, you enter the tournament and there's like different trials, and each trial you have to like basically kill the other people around you to like get to the winning, you know, the win. And she meets this guy named Rain, and he's a vampire, but he like wants to work with her, like he wants to be her partner, you know. And so they like have to work together for this tournament and like train together and live together and all this stuff. And she like, it's not really enemies to lovers, because they're not really enemies. She just doesn't trust anyone. Like, she's just untrustworthy because she's always been the only human in the room and everybody wants to eat her. And so she's like, no, I'm not trusting you, but I need you, so I'm gonna use you and I'm gonna like kill you afterwards. And you can imagine that that's not what happens, but it's good because there's these trials, and then there's like a war going on as well in like the background, and then there's like the romance part of it, and I don't know, it's good. I read the second book too. I didn't love the second book as much because the second book switches point of views like back and forth, and I hate that. I hate when like books switch point of views, because I feel like it takes me out of like the fantasy. I don't know, like especially in this book it's in her point of view, and then in the second book it's in her and his point of view, like back and forth, and I'm like, I'm her. Like, I've already been her for an entire book, and now you're telling me I have to be him too. Like, I don't want to be him, I just want to be her. And so it's not logical, I know, but I did really enjoy this book. Like, again, if you love a female lead, this is for you. Like a female, like strong lead, like she's strong, like she be kicking ass. Okay, this is for you. It's, again, vampires, magic, enemies to lovers. There's like a Hunger Games aspect to it. There's a betrayal in there. Like, she's kind of dramatic. I like it. Anyway, you guys, this book, all of the romantasy books on my like list. I'm looking to read like some romance, like just some romance books. So maybe like a mafia romance or something. Like I need some sort of plot. Like I need a plot. If you have any romance book recommendations with like a good plot, let me know down below. But yeah, let me know if you've read any of these, and if you like any of these. If you read them, let me know what you think of them. Like I said, I'm not like the biggest like, oh, the grammar or oh, the writing style. Like I'm not the biggest person on that. I can't say what's good and what's not when it comes to that. I don't know anything, okay? But what I do know is how entertaining a book was and how like into it I was and excited, and I was pretty into these books. So take what I say with a grain of salt, and if you don't like it,